We left the other day having introduced biomes as chapter 6, and you've done the vocab, and now we're going to start the notes. So go ahead and get those out if you haven't already. I've also given you a world map. Locate that. And on this map, it has latitude and longitude lines. Which ones are latitude, the horizontal or the vertical? Latitude?
Oh, wait. Yeah, latitude goes north and south, right?
Horizontal. Remember latitude, lay, L-A, okay? And longitude or long, up and down. Yeah, a lot of people get that mixed up. So for determining biomes, we use latitude, okay? So what is the middle line for latitude on this map? What's the degree reading? 0, also known as the equator. Y'all have heard that described as the belt. So the equator is the latitude line. The longitude line is also 0, and what's it called? It's on the map. The prime meridian. Okay? The prime meridian. And so if you're going to do longitude, then those are those up and down lines, the vertical lines. So this is what gives us GPS coordinates. Okay, so if y'all have ever seen GPS coordinates, this is what it is. Latitude is horizontal, they lay. Longitude is long, they go up and down, and they're vertical. So if I asked you to give me the approximate latitude of Tennessee, what would you say? Look at your map. Now, the equator is 0, and it goes up as you go north. Madeline, let's move back over here since y'all are talking. So what's the approximate latitude of Tennessee? Okay, I'd say 35 is a little high. I'd say it's like, I don't know, 33-ish. Let's look it up. So if you put in latitude of Tennessee, I guess y'all are right. 35.5175 degrees, and y'all didn't give me the direction. North. So above the equator is going to be north, and below it's going to be what? South. And to the right of the equator is going to be, I'm sorry, not the equator, the prime meridian, east, and to the left will be west. Okay, so if we wanted to make the latitude and longitude hit in the center of Tennessee, this would be the coordinates right here. 35.5 degrees north and 86.5 degrees west. Okay? Give me the approximate latitude of Madagascar. Look at your map. Come on, you've seen this cartoon like 1,500 times. If you can't find it. They show it on the intro.
I know it's in Africa.
Let's see. Not 90 degrees south. It's off the east coast of Africa. It's an island. It's between 15 and 30. You see it? Okay. So if we type in latitude Madagascar, it's 18.7 degrees south.
Where's it at?
Right there.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
See, there's Africa, and it's that little island. Let me zoom it up. Right there. You see it now? That's Madagascar. We'll just use this one since it's got the countries labeled. So give me the approximate latitude of Saudi Arabia then. So look up on the board to find Saudi Arabia. Latitude. We're interested in latitudes, not necessarily longitudes.
28.
28 I think is a little high, but we'll see.
24.
23. Okay, so right there, 23. Okay, y'all figuring out how to use this? Give me the approximate latitude of Washington State. That's right here.
43.
I'd say that's good. 43 is probably good. Give me the latitude of Florida.
30. And 28.
Yeah, go lower. 28. Okay. Give me the latitude of Venezuela. Right there. Look at the map. Venezuela.
8.
8. I think it's a little higher than 8. I might say like 12.
11.
Let's see. Venezuela. 6.
Bam.
Bam. She's good. All right. So leave this on your desk. It's not yours. Leave your map there. I just wanted you to get an idea of what latitude is, because it's important in determining biomes. All right. So this chapter will discuss how plants describe the name of a biome. Plants are the biggest contributor to what lives there because they are the basis of the what? Food chain. Okay? If you have banana trees, you're going to have organisms that eat bananas. If you have oak trees, you're going to have organisms that eat acorns, right? Explain how temperature and precipitation determine which plants grow in an area. So how hot or cold and how much rain or lack of rain there is. And finally, explain how latitude and altitude affect which plants grow in an area. So that's why you can be in South America and see snow-capped mountains and it's 100 degrees. It's not necessarily the latitude that's causing those mountains to be snow-capped, but the what? This word right here. Altitude, so how high up it is. So the higher we go, remember in the atmosphere, we talked about the layers of the atmosphere. The higher you go in the troposphere, the colder it gets. All right, so biomes are large regions characterized by a specific type of climate and certain types of plant and animal communities. And so many times we think a community is a biome, but communities are actually small. Biomes are made up of these individual ecosystems or communities. Here in Coffee County, we actually have the only temperate grassland east of the Mississippi River. Now, would you call that a biome or an ecosystem? I wouldn't call it a biome because biomes are large. I would call it an ecosystem. Does anybody know where it's at? People all over the world come to study this to Coffee County.
Oh, wait.
That one thing? It's out Asbury Road. What's it called? Asbury's not out the Air Force Base. It's called May Prairie. And it is the same kind of plants that you would find out in Nebraska and Indiana and out in our temperate grasslands. Now, why would we have a temperate grassland ecosystem right here in the middle of the temperate deciduous forest? We used to have it, but how did it remain here? Who's we?
The animals.
We the animals. We the earth. We the Native Americans. Remember, they kept it burned off so that they could hunt. Remember, we talked about that in the first chapter. And so that's a glimpse into our past. That tells us that Coffee County used to be a temperate grassland. And we also learned in last chapter that it also used to be an ocean. So right now we have learned that where we're living was once underwater and it once was a different biome. And we have evidence to that. And so do you reckon humans are the ones that changed it from an ocean to a grassland? Do you reckon that humans are the ones that changed it from a grassland to a temperate deciduous forest? No. We helped preserve a little piece of it, but we didn't have any responsibility in it changing. So we have empirical evidence that the earth changes of its own volition. What did they find under the ice in Antarctica? Fossils of what? In Antarctica?
Wasn't it people?
No.
Like, yeah, it was people.
Antarctica. Palm trees. Okay? So Antarctica has not always been frozen, right? Because palm trees can't live in Antarctica. So this earth has changed multiple times without our intervention. And that's going to be important as we progress through this book, that you see that while we may contribute a little bit, we've only been in the picture for about 40,000 years, and we've only been able to do diddly squat over the past 300. Okay? So a biome is going to be large and an ecosystem is going to be small. Okay? So biomes are described by their vegetation because plants that grow in an area determine the other organisms that can live there. Plants for a particular biome have characteristics and specialized structures or adaptations that allow them to survive in that biome. So what is it about temperate deciduous trees that allow them to survive here in Tennessee? What do? What do they do? All trees reproduce. They drop their leaves. Guys, you got to get with it. All right. So in order to survive in the temperate deciduous forest, because it's snowing outside right now, you can't freeze. And if you are not going to freeze, you got to get rid of your what? Your water. So they send that water down into their roots so that they can't freeze, because remember, plants have cell walls and freezing will burst their cell walls. So they have to drop their leaves and they have to send their xylem down into the ground so it won't freeze. Okay? So
snow could bust through these windows right now.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
This is dangerous. We should go home.
For 5 minutes, we go play in the snow.
Because it's mostly wet right now and gross and not fun snow. That's like icky, freeze your nose snow. All right, so these adaptations include size, shape, and color. For example, plants in the tundra tend to grow short because they can't obtain enough water to grow larger. Also, why is growing short in the tundra a good idea?
Because nobody can see you.
See you. You're worried about being seen? Is it warmer close to the ground or high above it? Close to the ground. So they have the same trees that we do, but they're miniaturized. So they have like little cedar trees and juniper trees that grow really low to the ground. Okay? And this is a biome map. Look at Tennessee and tell me what biome we're classified as according to this map. Temperate forest. Tell me where there's a temperate rainforest according to this map. Washington State. So do you mean to tell me that rainforests can be cold and warm? Yep. So why are they called rainforests? Because of the rain, not necessarily because of the temperature. All right, we're going to stop there for today. We'll pick up there tomorrow. Remember, you'll have a vocab quiz tomorrow. You need to look over your vocab.
Wait, you said we